Hello fellow guitar geeks, it's pedal time. This is the 𝗓𝗡𝗘 from Tsakalis. You might guess from the colours and hopefully the sounds that the 𝗓𝗡𝗘 is a Marshall in a box, where it's in fact two Marshalls in a box. It's the Plexi style circuit, which is up here on the 19. So we've got 1959, 1987 and 1992, which is the different style of Marshall amps, not the years. Then also we've got on 22 a JCM 800, the 2203 and the 2204. Basically, the pedal aims to deliver the most desirable Marshall tones there currently are. And in this video, we're going to find out if it does it or not. If you're familiar with a Marshall amp, you might recognize some of the knobs and the terminology that Tsakalis have used, but I'm going to go through them anyway, just in case. We've got, housekeeping first, signal in, signal out, and power in. We've got enable, which turns the pedal on and off. And we've got the boost function, which is a boost. You can't use the boost without engaging the pedal, so it's not just a boost pedal, just so you know. Right, on to the knobs. Up here on the top left, we've got a master volume, which is the general volume of the whole pedal, which we'll play about with. We've got a variac, we'll talk about that in a moment. Here are volume 1 and volume 2. And you can treat it like a Plexi style amp. So you've got like a trebly volume here and a more bass or a normal volume here. So if you want more body, it's even written there, you would increase this one. And you want more bite, you'd increase this one, or balance that however you wish. Down here we've got a full tone stack and a presence knob. So I've got mine kind of at 12 because I was playing with the amp in the front end. But bass you can adjust, middle you can adjust, treble you can adjust, and presence is something Tsakalis have included so that you can use it on any amp. So if you have a bright amp, then you can sort of reduce the presence, because this is that top end frequencies. And if you have a rather dark sounding amp, you can increase the presence, making it more easy to hear in a mix, I guess. So this presence is where you might actually jump through in a band mix or a recording. Oh yeah, and the 19 and 22 switches between the Plexi and the JCM 800 style circuit. Before we go any further, it's €240 and it's handmade in Athens in Greece. So it's not made by some robots and it's not made on the moon. Remember that price and remember the fact that it's handmade throughout the rest of the video and before. So go back and watch the bit before and remember and think about the fact that this has been put together by human hands and it's going to cost you $240 or thereabouts. Right, now's the time to check out the sounds as some kind of tone exploration. This is the Maybach Leicester, a Les Paul inspired guitar with a Spirit of 59 pickups. So this is what the amp sounds like without the pedal. Let's go for the Plexi setting first. On the 19, I've set everything right in the middle, and you'll notice that when I turn it on, compared to the clean sound, the pedal is a lot quieter because we've got these two volumes down here, which are the gain, if you want to look at it that way. So I want to turn it on. Let's play with, before I play really with the volume 1 and volume 2, let's play with the EQ. Okay, that's quite responsive. So here's the bass on the lowest setting. It's not like a graphic EQ bass, so you're not finding something that's going to make it sound bad at this point. I think that's a pretty usable bass. Also, the middle doesn't jump out too much. Let's try the treble. That's just adjusting it a tiny little hair, which is great. And if you need more presence, try the presence. Now, to my ear, that doesn't sound great with the presence all the way up, because you shouldn't turn it all the way up unless you have a dark amp, and therefore also you shouldn't turn it all the way down unless you've got a bright amp. That's the one to adjust this pedal to your amp. So if you're finding sounds that you're not enjoying, or you're thinking this is too harsh or too dark, presence is your friend here. Notice I've got the 𝗧𝗓𝗡𝗏 just here at about 12 o'clock, which is not necessarily where it should be. This is just a taste, but the more to the left you put it, the more compression you're going to have, the more sponginess, that more brown sound, and then the higher it is, the more open it's going to sound, the less compression and more open. So let's hear it all the way up, and I'll play with it and turn it all the way down again. There's a lot going on there. So that really does change the tone, but it also plays nicely with the master volume. Notice when it turned the 𝗧𝗓𝗡𝗏 down, I had to increase the master volume to bring up the volume of the pedal. So that is the Plexi, is it? Yeah. All right. So the Plexi sound it's quite a hot Plexi sound. Of course, you can change that with these two volumes, but generally speaking, And there is a Plexi style amp just under the pedal. Hang on. Just there. I'm enjoying it. So I'm not going to play it against the Marshall in this video. Duh. Because I don't think that would be fair. But, well, not that it don't be fair. I don't think that that's what we should be comparing it against. Then we should be comparing it against your amp or my amp plus other Marshall pedals, or Marshall style pedals. And you're getting two. I'm having an issue with the fact that the aesthetics, I think, are gorgeous. And when we have aesthetically gorgeous pedals, that can sometimes warp our minds into the fact that it sounds good. But it also sounds good, in my opinion. And it reminds me a little bit of the Marvel drive that I used to have. And that pedal I bought like 3 times, and bought and sold. And I never found that I could quite get the most out of that pedal. I'm wondering if the Room 40 is the pedal I was looking for. Let's find out. So, we're going to switch now to the 22, to the JCM 800 setting. There we go. It's now in 80s mode. And we're going to see how that affects my playing. Probably not a lot. So I just switched back to the Plexi setting there just to show you the JCM 800 setting. The 22 is a lot more vibrant, a lot hotter, a lot more rock lead guitar. Even though the Plexi is also rock lead, this is more 80s. It's more slashy, you know. So I guess I should do some slash stuff or something that I think might be slashy. Oh God. Okay, let's give it a go. In my mind, and with my playing ability, that's kind of a bit more Slash. So if you're a massive Slash fan and you can play like Slash, I apologize, but that's like more Slash. He plays up here, rather I kind of riff down here. What I love is that there's not such a jump between the 19 and 22 settings, because it would be awful if you were playing live on a nice Plexi tone, something warmish, and then you flipped over the 22, and it was super hot and super loud, and suddenly the whole band sounded rubbish. If you did accidentally switch that switch over, or you wanted to switch that switch over, there isn't such a massive jump. It just sounds more rock and roll. Let's try it. I like it. That doesn't have much body in it. I took a lot of body out for the lead playing just to make it cut through. Again, in the room, it might sound different to you, but what I'm going to do is choose some top 5 tones, I think. Okay, I'm getting a lot of fun out of the Room 40. It is certainly filling my heart with Marshall goodness. But before I get to the review, if this video has brought you joy in any way, then please consider leaving a thumbs up so more people get to see it. To review this pedal is in fact quite easy because I've grown up with Marshall amps, and one of my dream amplifiers was just a Marshall amp before I knew anything about it. And still, when I see a Marshall amp with gold and black and knobs and goodness, it still makes my heart skip a little bit. But is the 𝗏𝗏𝗘𝗏 scratching that itch? Well, in short, yes. There are so many Marshall in a box pedals currently on the market, and every time one gets released, I always wonder if it's going to replace my favorite. My favorite one currently is the Green Day 𝗬𝗏𝗪𝗔𝗥 Dookie? I never know which way to say it. I'm English. I'm from the West Country. Dookie. That's how they say it. That's an amazing Marshall in a box pedal. I've also got some cheap ones like the cheap Joyo Crunch things. That's okay, but it certainly isn't my favorite, and I wouldn't want to use it in any recording. It just doesn't quite nail it. The 𝗏𝗏𝗘𝗏 comes a lot closer. I do like the Plexi setting down here. So when it's down there with a lower gain, I think that's beautiful. In fact, I'm going to play that with a Strat quickly. Yeah, I think that's absolutely gorgeous. It's just on that edge. It's giving that Fendery kind of Hendrixy stuff. You can even take it down a little bit lower. Also, the boost function gives you a little bit more gain. So if you're noodling around with some kind of rhythm stuff, so it's not just adding volume, it's adding a bit more grit, a bit more gain, so it actually sounds more like a lead tone. That alone raises the usability of this pedal by 17 points, I think. Yeah, so not only are you getting a Plexi style and a JCM800 style, but you're also getting the 𝗏𝗡𝗙. So you get this 𝗏𝗡𝗙 so you can brown out and compress your tone even more. You can also get the boost function. So it's not just a Marshall in a box. It's a Marshall in a box with... It's two Marshalls in a box with extra features. I just turned the tone down then instead of the volume. Yeah, it's full, jam-packed with features, as a marketing person might say. From a guitarist point of view, there's just enough features to make it like really useful, but not too many to make it too featureful and therefore useless because you don't know what to do with it. I think this still sits in the realm of simplicity, but as I said, jam-packed with features. Thanks, Tsakalis. I've got to pick my favourite thing about the pedal and my least favourite thing. That's something I've started doing. My favourite thing is the fact that you've got all these functions in the box and they all sound good, which I know is kind of two things, but you've got a pedal that's very well balanced. It will do your Marshall tones. And I'm in a blues rock band and I'm currently searching for the ultimate Plexi tool because I want a range of blues tones. And not only have I got a Plexi tone, I've got a JCM800. So if you're in a top 40s covers band or something where you've got to cover a lot of ranges and you want something that isn't digital, this is all JFET and analog and wondrous. So my favorite thing has to be the fact that it could quite be a complete Marshall in a box solution. Sorry about the wordiness. My least favorite thing is very difficult to come up with. I've thought of something. It's the terminology Volume 1 and Volume 2 might confuse some people. And that's really not fair because this is how it should be. I believe that that is the right way to label this pedal. However, if you're new to Marshalls in boxes or you're new to Marshall sounds, it's all explained in the Tsakalis user manual that you can get, or at least on the website. So I guess it needs explaining. That's my biggest gripe with the pedal, although it's not really a gripe because I've just explained it in this video, and so do other people, and so did Tsakalis themselves. So yeah, that's kind of a false negative. Sorry. It's just hard to come up with something that is negative, because I believe this is a great pedal. You've got all that tone stack, the presence, so you can use it on any amp you want. You've got the volume 2, you've got so much going on, and I know that 240 euros is not a small amount of money. It's not Behringer class, but this is not a Behringer pedal. If you want a crappy sounding Marshall in a box, there are ones available for about 80 euros and less. If you want something that's still, I believe, affordable and could solve that Marshall problem that you have. So if you're running a Fender amp or the D20 from Rev, and you need that Marshall and you don't want to shell out another 1,400 or something for a head, I think the 𝗚𝗚𝗘𝗏 will do it for you. I stand by that. Just when you think I've covered all the features of the 𝗚𝗚𝗘𝗏, there's one I've left out. It is the gain boost trim pot. So if I turn it over, then just unplug it. On the back is a little hole. Oh, there's my little sticky. Pull the sticky off. Oh, we're also going to look inside the pedal in a moment. There it is. Oh, I've just ripped off the serial number. There's the gain boost. So whereas some pedals have trim pots that you're not supposed to mess with, this is one that you're designed to mess with, because with a little tiny screwdriver, you can have more gain with that boost switch or less gain with that boost switch. All right, let's crack this baby open, see what's going on inside. Whew. Okay, so how many screwdrivers does it take to get a pedal apart? 3, because I've got cack hands. Right, this is the part that makes pedal builders a little nervous. Let's see what's going on inside the 𝗚𝗚𝗘𝗏 from Tsakalis. Lots of stuff. Stuff that I don't know what it is, but it looks like a tidy job. That is a very nicely built pedal. I can't see what's going on inside there, mostly because it looks like it's on the other side. But I'd just like to see if things are tidy. And you can see that it is. I've put the pedal back together, which means we're near the end of the video, and you, my friend, have made it to the end of the video club to prove that you are a member of this prestigious elite. When you leave your comment telling me what you think of the 𝗚𝗚𝗘𝗏, please also include the phrase, "Get a room!" And that'll let me know that you watched this part of the video, and we can all feel together with the 𝗚𝗚𝗘𝗏. My final say is that if you're looking for a Marshall in a box, why not look for 2 Marshalls in a box and get the 𝗚𝗚𝗘𝗏, because both those sounds feel and sound, I'm not going to say just like the amps, but certainly in the ballpark where if you're playing live, it's going to sound great and you don't need to haul another amp around. It's certainly more inspiring to play than any digital recreations you might find in a digital pedal currently on offer. Yeah, I said it. I prefer the analog version. It wouldn't replace my Marshall amp because I have the amp, and I wouldn't say, wow, I've got this pedal, I don't need that amp anymore, because for recording and stuff, I really, really like that amp. However, the simplicity, the convenience of having this pedal, it certainly gets close enough for me to not take 2 amps with me, because that'd be ridiculous. And also, I think I could get by with a cleanish amp, stick this through the amp or through the effects loop even, use it as a preamp, and then you'd get really close to that Marshall tone. So that's coming with me. That's definitely staying and definitely going on my pedal board. If you're looking to buy the pedal, then please use the links down in my video description. Otherwise, thanks to Tsakalis for sending out the 𝗚𝗚𝗘𝗏 and for sponsoring the video. And thanks to you for watching. I'll see you sometime in the future or in one of those videos over there. Bye bye now.